Tim, guess what? It's September 1988 and we've got 156 pages of this ZZap 64 featuring Lesson Ninja 2 on the leading edge of arcade adventures. Review of Asher Violence in the challenge. It's huge, don't miss out, and it's 32 pages of naughty pokes. More maps and pokes than you can shake a stick at. It's an extravaganza and there's competitions galore. So let's have a flick through, shall we? First off, we've got a massive advertisement for 1943 by Capcom, Battle of the Midway. As a Wii game, I actually quite enjoyed it, although it's basically just a vertical shoot 'em up, but with, well, World War II planes. And then of course you've got Daley Thompson, who was a national treasure after the Olympics where he won the decathlon, and his game, Daley Thompson's Decathlon, broke many people's wrists as they were trying to run with it, wiggling your joystick and everything. A new look on this with nice red numbers telling you what's what and wherever. They've even got some freaky features. Enter the Harley Quinn and PG's Big Tips. And we've got Gremlin, based in Yorkshire, Sheffield in fact, and they've got a few games out here. They've got Mickey Mouse, which looks alright actually. I don't remember playing that game, I'll be honest. It was on the Amiga and the ST as well as the Commodore Spectrum and Amstrad, but I never played that one. T-Rex, never heard of it. Gary Lineker, Super Skills. For those of you who don't know, Gary Lineker used to be a football player back in the day, and then for 20 odd years he presented Match of the Day before he was kicked off for some bizarre comments he made on Twitter regarding government policy. And you've also got Skate Crazy as well. And then there were three. It's been a bit of a hectic month in ZZap Towers. We've gained a new reviewer. Reviewer profiles included below, and we've lost a film planner. Film planner being the incredible mysterious department in Newsfield where a group of hag-like crones sit around a cauldron full of paints and cast enrich spells to create the colourful tints that you see in the magazines. So yeah, Gordon Holton is the editor at the moment in this glorious magazine. You've got The Word, which is just basically news of what's going on. Quite a bit of news. Power Play Banana, Bristol-based software house Arcana is set to release an alternative trivia game, Power Play, on the Amiga. And then you got someone making some bacon and a cup of tea, as you do. The domino effect. For one of our games, the rest will be irresistible, it says here. I'll be the judge of that. Oh, it's US Gold. Road Blasters, no, you're alright. Shackled, never heard of. Bandit Commander, that was actually good. I'll give that. Yeah, that was alright. Dream Warrior, no. Desolator, no. Rolling Thunder, could have been better. Gauntlet 2, bit flickery. Outrun, that was alright. Bad Cat, no, I'm not familiar with that. And 720, the skateboarding one, which was also quite good as well. The President is Missing. Who's behind the world's worst hostage crisis? Well, obviously, presidents were respected back in them days. The previous two presidents that we've had in the United States of America, if they were missing, I don't think anyone would even notice. Then you got a game, Typhoon. It's just got 79%. One for Typhoon and experienced shoot 'em up fans. Well, yeah, it's called Typhoon, so you're going to be a Typhoon fan if you like it, don't you? The new reviewers, PG, ME, and GH. No idea who any of them are. Last Ninja 2. System 3, $12.99 on cassette, $14.99 on disc, and it's joystick only. The tough, mysterious travels of New York, System 3's superb sequel. And yeah, 94%. A more than worthy sequel to the original arcade adventure classic. It was a classic. I was going to write a classic, but then I realised I couldn't write songs, so I didn't bother. Football Manager 2 got 71%. I must have played. I did play a few Football Manager games back in the day, and they were all right. You'd always pick a crappy team and then try and get them up into well, I don't think it was the Premiership then. I think it was Division 1. But yeah, it was all good fun. Your search for the ultimate in entertainment ends here. The Personal Computer Show at Earl's Court, London. This is the predecessor of the more recent computer game shows that are available in the UK at the moment. I can't remember the name of. They're unforgettable. Road Blaster. Oh dear, he's pulled his cap down over his eyes. When being critical of 3D racing games, there comes a reply crammed with excuses like the 64 can't cope with the graphics well enough. This has been proven otherwise in many occasions in many games, such as my favourite Pit Stop 2, Supercycle, Buggy Boy, and to a certain extent Revs. The arcade original Road Blasters was noted for its fluid control, smooth playability and continuous blasting action. The conversion captures virtually none of the atmosphere of the coin-op original, being jerky, slow and difficult to handle. The presentation has the same features, 3 score levels, but none of the feel. I can think of several racing games I'd rather play. Only check it out if you've got a version of Road Blasters in any form. If you've got to have a Road Blasters version in any form. And it got 59%, which isn't terrible, I'll be honest with you. Blood Brothers. Oh, he stuck his fingers down his throat. Oh, he stuck his fingers down his throat. That's not good. 39%. I think that's all we need to worry about. He stuck his finger down his throat. 39%. Salamander. Now, I'm sure I had this on a console rather than a computer. Did I have? No, I didn't have Mega Drive then, though, did I? So I couldn't have done. Maybe I think of a different game. Anyway, Salamander is a sizzler. It's from Imagine. It was $8.95 on cassette and $12.99 on disc, and it is joystick only, obviously, because it's a shoot 'em up. It's obviously going to be on joystick only, otherwise, what would be the point? And they've all got. He's got double thumbs up, and he's got the 94%, the best progressive shoot 'em up to date. Ooh, high praise indeed. Then you've got The Empire Strikes Back, and look there, they've all got Star Wars heads. They've got Ugly Yoda, Darth Vader, and M, whose name I forget, but he's my favourite character, even though I've never seen him in a movie. I just think he's cool. Overall, 74%, a quality conversion that proves addictive despite itself. To be fair, it was the Empire Strikes Back, isn't it? So it's not the arcade version. Then we got Netherworld advertisements from Houston. We have a problem. Leaderboard collection. By this point, we've already got leaderboard tournament, leaderboard executive edition, and world class leaderboard. And now you can get them all together in one big box. Who Stole the President comp. So you got all this kind of Matrixy stuff going on before Matrix was a thing. Who knew they'd be that progressive? The Thalamus Star, September 1988. I Am Hawkeye. Pensioner from outer space claims he's man behind the mask. 10 things you should know about the Gold Rush. Black hole found in Delta space. There's the black hole, and all this is Delta space. Axe wielding programmer worships evil spirit, a new claim. And then you got log on even, with Jason Gold. He must be JD. In this month's instalment, our resident netter takes a peek at homegrown demos, listens to spots of music, and diffuses over brilliant portrait of the cuddly TV star Alf. I mean, brilliant. Cuddly TV star Alf. That's better. One of the many portraits of 2000 AD's Nemesis the Warlock, which features in Jason Credo demo. That looks pretty cool. Dead simple, but really cool. And then there's some blonde woman on a planet in a bikini, as you do. Hack to the Future. Presenting purple prose, pushing parameters past playful prognosis, professional, proper yeah, there's lots of P's. So what they're doing, looking into the future. Oh, that's Prince Andrew. Oh, here we go. In February in 1998, looking ahead, this was only 1988. Salamander was called Life Force in the USA. J. Morris. Ah, that might be what I'm thinking of. A military provisional government is sworn in, led by King Andrew and Fertile Fergie. The appointment of the Field Marshal Jerry Anderson confirms he's nothing more than a puppet regime. When did the singing computer disappears and is rumoured to have entered a solar-powered covenant? Wow. They got that a bit wrong, didn't they? Anyway. What we got here? Topo Soft. The Pepsi Challenge. Only $7.99. You know what? I think I'll pass on that, but thanks. Thanks for the offer. You got a game called Oops. I think it's called Oops. The actual character thing's covering up off the things. Yeah, Oops. A thoroughly addictive arcade-style game. Oops is an original, enjoyable challenge. Oops grabs you from the word go. Oops Challenge arcade strategy game. And that was in ZZap 64, August 1988. And this is September 1988, so we won't see that. So then we've got ZZap. The Laughing Guinea Pig from Dr. J. Ann, Ashen Underlining Lanks, and then Amiga Loving Fun. In Germany, the Amiga is very popular, and I cannot understand why the British buy so many STs and not Amigas. I myself own a Commodore 64 and an Amiga, and many of my friends own both computers, so I find ZZap excellent. When the new ZZap arrives, I open the Amiga action pages first to see what is new on the Amiga. Please go on the Amiga action, it's really great. Myself, I think that Amiga action is too little. Please make it bigger, a lot of people will thank you, even if they don't write a letter. So yeah, and then someone else has put, for God's sake, shut up. Fantastic. Is Martin Walker really Paul McCartney in disguise? Who is Cameron anyway? Well, again, looking into the future. Prime Minister who didn't know what he was doing. License to Thrill. That's obviously Liz Truss. Superb sequel seeking. Mr. Angry Gets Cross. Budget Bashers and Autumn Aussie Art. And look at that. Where's Super Thief? He says. You go there. Like you do. Have we lost Thing on a Spring? I haven't seen him yet. Just a quickie. Do backups get your backup? Do pirates dream of multi-loaded games? Don't know. They may do, they may not. Computer repairs. Fixed super low prices. 1 week turnaround special offers at WTS Electronics ZP. Portland Road, Luton, and yeah, not going there, it's in Luton. Wanted for their involvement in the great micro dealer cover-up. I've absolutely no idea what this is about. For years unnoticed, the authorities' valuable goods were disappearing from shelves of unsuspecting stores throughout the UK. Now Microdealer International has revealed the extent of massive scam and discovers the stash no one has come forward for the loot. Your local microdealer has the lowdown on the greatest games rack since Al Capone. Be on the lookout for signs of cover-up and pick your cover-up tokens to complete your card entitling you to a piece of the action. Alright, so it's basically a Tesco club card thing. Barbarian 2. Moderately underrated game. I mean, it wasn't brilliant, but I mean the bit where you decapitate your enemy and then kick the head off like a football and drag the body off. It was something else. And then we've got Enter the Harlequin. Corruption. Oh, we're on about governments again. Overall, 81%. This is adventure game, text-based, as you can see. Harlequin Hindsight. Suspended, $24.99, disc only, 91%. WizBiz, Alternative Software Limited, $1.99, cassette only. Overall, 33%. You get what you pay for, don't you? Ram Jam Corporation, $7.95, brought out Valkyrie 17, and that got 70%. Mind Fighter, 61%. Lord of the Rings, one would assume that would have... Oh no, there was no actual review for it. And then you've got some clues there if you get stuck on some of these text-based games. Got some lovely maps. Look at this. These are spectacular, and people spent hours, days even, making these maps. Not me. I just wait for them to come in a magazine, and then I'd get the mags. Contact Clevers. So you've got all these people who've put their like Dave Rogers, 15 Elm Terrace, Westfield, Radstock. I mean, why would you put your address in? Nigel Nemesis Richardson. You can telephone him on an old number that no longer works. And this one here, Andrew Blackmore, has put his phone number on, but you can only ring between 5:30 and 8:30 p.m. Like anyone's going to read that bit. Yeah, I bet they didn't put it in twice, did they? Chubby Gristle. Chubby Gristle, a classic platform game with danger at every turn. Will he become a one-ton giant, or will he end up the health farm or the gym? His future is in your hands. One of the most addictive platform games ever. Coming soon to the Atari ST and Amiga for 20 quid. 64 disc for 15 quid. Amstrad disc 15 quid. 64 cassette 9.95. Amstrad cassette, Spectrum cassette, and MSX. Wow, MSX. 8.95. That was from Grand Slam on Paul Street in London. I've got an advertisement for Road Blasters, which has been blasted in this very magazine. Vroom, Boom and Doom, says CMVG. Recently retired magazine. Kicks, a budget range. World Games, Gauntlet 1, Frames, Ace of Aces, and Metro Cross. And they would all be, what, $1.99, $2.99 each. $2.99 it says there actually. Just saw it as I turned it over. Now you got a game called Wasteland, and it's a sizzler. But we knew that, didn't we? Cyborg Sam has achieved the rank of Lance Corporal. You get 2 adventure points to distribute among your stats. Oof, 2. $19.99 on disc. A Wargame Construction Kit. We've got 95%. That's pretty good. Wargame Construction Kit, also on disc. These are strategy things. I could never get into strategy games, I'll be honest with you. Strategy just didn't do it for me. Still doesn't. 79% though for that one. And then you've got some tactics telling you how to play strategy games, which I wouldn't read because I don't play strategy games. 19. I bet it's called 19 because of the Paul Hardcastle hit. $9.99 on cassette, $14.99 on a disc on the Spectrum and the Commodore, and it's coming soon for the Amiga for 20 quid by Cascade Games. Imagine it's 1965. I'm going to imagine it's 1988 and it's actually 2023. So imagine it's 1965 and you're 19, an American kid in an American town. Your family and friends, college, girlfriends, the people and things you know, comfortable. And then one morning the world is shattered. You're young, you're content, you're comfortable, but you're drafted. At the start of 1965 there were 23,000 United States service personnel in Vietnam. By December there were 184,000 and the figure was still rising. To each and every one, Vietnam was a turning point in their life, and each would deal with it in a different way. In 19 Part 1, Boot Camp, we take you through the rigours of basic training, the preparation for war, never allowed to rest. Your drill sergeant will take you through a series of exercises, each assessing different characteristics, coordination, stamina, morale, and if you survive, in 19 Part 2, Combat Zone, we take you to war, coming soon from Cascade. So this is only Part 1. Oh, it says there, inspired by the Paul Hardcastle song of the same name, 19 is a tribute to the young men who fought in Vietnam, Saigon, Vietnam, Saigon. And this is a tribute to Arnold Schwarzenegger, the Vindicator. For legal reasons, it's not the Terminator, it's the Vindicator. That's a slightly worrying image that they've done there. PG's tips. I have no idea what is going on there, but that just looks creepy as hell. Is it still Oliver Frey doing the covers? Writers, editorial assistants, photography, production. are they? Cover design and illustration by Oliver Frey. Yeah, so it's still Oliver Frey. It does look Oliver Frey-ish. But yeah, that just looks weird. And not in a good way. Just like creepy. PG tips. Yeah, leave that one. Anyway, these are all his tips for how to build your own serial port reset switch, in brackets, at your own risk, i.e. if you make it and it blows your machine up, it's not our fault. So you need a soldering iron and some solder, a male 6-pin DIN plug, an instantaneous push to make switch, and at least 2 lengths of wire and 1 paper clip. What could possibly go wrong? Yeah. So, yeah, forget that. So these are all the tips that you can use. North Star, Night Games 2. They pay for their night games. They were 2 lovers, they don't use names. Thunderbolts, BMX Kids, Konov, Inside Outing, and Super Cycle. And then you've got a massive one for Zor, which looks just like lots of really crappy maps. That looks really rubbish. It looks like something on the VIC-20 rather than the Commodore 64. Martin's Mad Multipulx Mark 1. Okay. Some pretty colour pictures though, I'll be honest with you. I don't remember it being this colourful. I think by now I wasn't buying this magazine, to be fair. Dracunus. Apollo 18. Hey, hey, what do you say? Had me a woman, she ran away. Oh, that was Apollo 9, wasn't it? Impossible Mission 2. Nowhere near as good as Impossible Mission 1. Auf Wiedersehen, Monty. Infiltrator 2. Oh, Bionic Commandos. Look, it's gone portrait on us. It's a centre spread as well. Look, centre spread staples. I liked Bionic Commandos. I couldn't do it, but I did like it. I thought it was a good game. You get it on the Amiga though, not on this. Dracunus from Zeppelin Games, 1943. Konami's Arcade Collection, Train Robbers, Outrun, Mystery of the Nile, Code Hunters, Platoon, Tornado, Low Level. Bionic Commando on the NES was amazing. Yeah, I played it once. I had it in and I played it, and I was actually well impressed with it on the NES. I think I had it on the Amiga, and it was damn good on the Amiga as well. Terramex, E equals MC squared, it says there. See, who says computer games aren't educational? Flying Shark, all the various maps and things as you start there and you fly along all the maps and get to the end, do you? Yeah, you get to the end. PG's Musical Hall. For those of you who just want to give Sid some exercise without having to bump away simultaneously, oh, you can print all these things off and type them all in. Oh God, no, tried that. That's why I'm not a programmer. It just did me head in. Herobotics, and another confusing map. I mean, I'm sorry, but if you're playing a Commodore 64 game and you're lost somewhere, how the hell are you going to know where you are on that map? It's just literally lots of very small lines and lots of small boxes. They could have at least made it, you know, a bit bigger and made him smaller and put that over there. Stormbringer, Gauntlet 2, Ramparts, Bard's Tale 2. Oh, and another one. The Bard's Tale 2 and all the maps for everywhere. Hollywood Poker, Great Escape. Oh no, that's Hitler's only got one. Thrust 2. And then we've got an advertisement here. Origin Games, Times of Lore. Times of Lore. ZZap. Where do you begin? Once upon a time, not too long ago, there were 4 games which we reviewed in ZZap's issue 16 were awarded high accolades. I've actually done ZZap's issue 16. 17. No, I've done 17 and 18. So we've got Tyrosenti, which got 92%. Murder on the Mississippi, 89%. Infiltrator got 93%. Green Beret got 93%. Yes, I know that's not how you pronounce it. I'm not stupid. I'm not that stupid anyway. History in the making, the first 3 years. Computer industry sources spoke of alarm and disquiet today as US Gold, Europe's forerunner to home entertainment software, announced plans for a September release that marks a milestone in the development of home computer industry. Titled History in the Making, it chronicles the early giant successes of this exciting industry and is regarded by many experts to be the finest single collection of computer games ever produced. A real must for computer enthusiasts and true collectors, items to be treasured for years to come. It's not an advertisement, honest. What games did it get though? Beachhead. Yeah, okay, I'll give him that one. Bruce Lee. I'll give him that one as well, actually. Spy Hunter. Definitely give him that one. That was good. Raid. Never played it. Goonies. Really? Film tie-in that was good. Super Cycle. Yeah, that was alright. World Games. Express Raider. Never played it. Infiltrator. Never played it. Beachhead 2. Yep. Gauntlet. Yeah, I suppose. Roadrunner. Nah. Impossible Mission. 100% definitely. Kung Fu Master. Yeah. And Leaderboard. Yeah, it was alright, Leaderboard, when it first came out. So, yeah. The news advertisement is really good. Walker's Way by Martin Walker. Martin opened his eyes and his focus on the ceiling and noticed the grey haze that filled the room. Damn, he thought, another shakedown for the opposition. The smell of smoke was in him and a feel of hunger. He had not eaten since Thursday and now it was hell. What day was it? Yeah, so basically it's a diary of someone trying to make a game, I would assume. I know Jeff Mintz has done a few of them in the time. Total backup power takes a quantum leap. Now Action Replay Mark IV has arrived for Commodore 64 and 128. If you couldn't afford Amiga, you got a 128. A Mark IV Professional for only $34.99. It's a RAM loader. In addition to Warp 25, the AR4 Professional now has RAM loader, making use of its onboard 8K RAM. $8K of RAM. Oh. Oh. Warp 25 reloads an average backup in 6 seconds. What the reviewer said: I'm stunned, amazed, and totally impressed. This easily is the best value for money cartridge. The cartridge king, said Commodore Disk user. 8K of RAM though. Whoa. Eddie-ites of 8K of RAM. We've got 8K of RAM. Look, they've writ it there. Where is it? I've lost it. It was that exciting, I've lost it. Oh, there it is. 8K of RAM. 8K of RAM. Wow. Supersoft Computer Services, lifting all the cassettes that they're selling. Stetchfield in Birmingham. Our PCs are the greatest. Okay. That is... Oh. People Carriers. It's an advertisement for Network Southeast. So basically, British Rail was still British Rail at the time, I think, and I think it was just being broken up around about that time. So yeah. Oh look, Cascade 19 competition, based on the Paul Hardcastle hit 19. Budget test. Night Racer. Now, one of the first games I ever played was called Night Racer, or Night Driver or something. It was in the arcade. I mentioned it before, and it was a black screen with a car sticker stuck on the mirror, because obviously it's all mirrors in arcades. Stuck on the mirror, which slowly shriveled up because of the heat of the screen underneath, and you had these black dots coming towards you, and they were the sides of the road, and you had to stay between the dots. You had to steer the sticker through the dots, and I was addicted to it. I admitted I was only about 6 or 7 at the time, going to Southport Pier, and if you're around at the time, you'd probably know it. You walk in the main entrance of the pier, go on the right side, walk down to where the side entrance was onto the road, and it was like 2 or 3 machines down from that, and I was on it all the time. I loved it. Yeah, I used to go to Southport on my own when I was 6 and 7. Long story. So yeah, unfortunately, it's only got 36%. Happy memories. Sword Slayer. 46%. Looks like it's trying to be a Barbarian 2 kind of game. Sword Slayer doesn't add up too much, but what it lacks in technical expertise, it makes up for in humour. The deformed sprites wobble around nicely in a nicely drawn arena, whacking each other with no apparent effect apart from the odd splurt of blood. The individual levels are nicely connected, except for the multi-load, by an ongoing storyline which itself causes guffaw or three. If you've already had enough of decent beat-em-ups and don't mind spending a couple of quid for a laugh, take a look at Sword Slayer. It'll make you smile if nothing else. Sword Slayer. Then you've got Professional Snooker Simulator. That's it. Wow. Got 63% though. It reminds me of the old commentator, because when I was a kid most tellies were black and white, and then people were getting colour tellies, and then at some point more people had colour tellies than black and white tellies, obviously. And the commentator once said on a snooker tournament, I think he's going to go for the pink ball. For those of you with a black and white TV, the pink ball is next to the green ball. I thought it was brilliant. Dizzy, Codemasters. Is this the first one? This type of adventure arcade is well worn on the Spectrum but doesn't suit the 64, and the graphics in Dizzy have a strong overtones of the original version. The Dizzy character is a cute wiggling egg, and his cuteness did nothing to inspire me, heartless thing that I am, particularly as he is difficult to control. Nicely defined but colourless backgrounds put an end to the wonder what the next screen is like. So 48%. I like some of the Dizzy games. Treasure Island Dizzy and stuff like that was alright. I can never do them. In fact, I did better when I played them recently on the Mega Drive. On a kind of like a compilation thing they brought out on the Mega Drive. Ninja Scooter Simulator. Whenever I think of scooters, I always think of ninjas, and I always think of simulations as well. So that kind of makes sense. 30% though. Exeria. 13%. Unlucky for everyone, these observations are brought to you by the Minimalist School of Comments Incorporated. So presentation 21, very basic indeed, with overall brief instructions. Graphics 25%, bland, unoriginal sprites and repetitive scenery. Sound 41%, an annoying tune plays throughout. Hookability 29%, dull from the outset. Lastability 12%. A few games is plenty. For me, a few games is plenty was for most games, to be fair. Smile is Mine has actually done well. It's got 94%. It's even got, look, it's even got a silver medal. A funny, unusual and addictive shoot 'em up, enhanced by brilliant presentation and sound. Buy it. And how much was it? $2.99. Joystick with keys. Now, so that put me off. Are you good enough to tackle Hot Shot? What is going on there? It looks like there's a guy in a fish tank, and you're in, like, maybe the fish tank's leaking, and you're firing a ball. Yet the game looks like that. I'll leave that. You're alright. I won't buy that. It's got a gold label award, but I don't know who said it. Who gives their gold label award. Battleships, 81%. During my younger days, I used to spend hours shoving plastic pegs into a board shouting hit or miss. God, when I was a kid, I used to put crosses on a piece of paper when I was playing Battleships for hours and hours and hours. And this is 1988, and he says when I was a kid. Rogue, 10%. Only worth a look if you're a very, very big RPG fan. Annoying lack of user friendliness and crude on-screen presentation. Graphics 14%. Small shapeless objects and extremely jerky scrolling. Sound 3%. A single beep when objects are selected. Hookability 27%. The exploration bug bites unenthusiastically. Lastability 12%. A very big dungeon with very little variety. That's what dungeons were like though, wasn't there? Nighttime, another budget one, 80%. An amusing arcade adventure which is only marred by the fact there is no advancement over Spellbound. Kane 2, 33%. European five-a-side. Graphics. That looks like something on the Game Boy, which I don't think was invented at this point. 15%. Beach Buggy Simulator, which looks like moon-based game, that moon one where you had to make your car jump over the things and all that. I know what I mean. Street Sports Soccer. It's tough on the streets, it says here. Look, it's tough on the streets. Look, there's even a can there to prove it. Look at the can. Oh my God. An old tier ring pull. And then you tear it off and you split it and then you're able to flick the ring in people's eyes. Great. Did it all the time. And then they come up with that one where it just sticks to the can and you can't take it off the can. Fernandez must die. Yeah, by flicking a ring pull in his eye. Yeah. 51%. Netherworld, $9.99. So we're out of the budget stuff now. We can tell that because we're in colour. 87%. Rapid shoot 'em up and frantic puzzle solving combined to make Neverworld a very addictive game. 19 Part 1 Boot Camp. Now he's pulled his cap down over his head. He's given it a thumbs up and he's not so sure. So overall 70%. An impressive combat school clone, but there was some disagreement. So remember the old reviewer's adage, try before you buy. You couldn't do back then though. You couldn't try before you buy. And you couldn't trade them in either. Red Storm Rising. Can you stop the Russian bear? God, how apt is that? 40 odd years on. Near enough. 35 years on. It's still relevant. The president is missing. And it's a test. So it's not a review, it's a test. And look at these graphics. Wow, they're amazing. To be fair, they look a lot better on screen than what they do in I say, real life. Overall, 83%. A must for anyone with an inquiring mind and a disk drive. Mickey Mouse, 72%. Cutesy Mickey with a silly face has translated well onto the machine code. His sprite bears strong resemblance to his silver screen self. The enchanted Disney castle is populated by an odd bunch of ghastly characters, but they are all likeable despite their energy-sapping qualities. The Puddle Maze is a simplified variation of Gauntlet, but is interesting nonetheless, as are other classic coin-op inspired sub-games. The only real disappointment is the sound. Words cannot describe how grating the music is. You'll be reaching for the volume control in seconds. By contrast, the sound effects are good, including a convincing pop when a soap bubble bursts. As a harmless dodge and shoot fun, Mickey Mouse fulfills its license nicely. Thank God they got the pop right. And then you've got the great Gina Sisters. This is magazine's getting a little bit thingamabobby. There you go, the great Gina Sisters. Move over, brothers, make way for the great Gina Sisters. And they are great, look at her. Punky and trendy. From Rainbow Arts, remember them. ZZap 64 Challenge. So they got a Warren Litwith, who yeah, got beat. And there's the Score Lord's scores. Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, the game. I definitely bought one of these. Again, I think it was for the Amiga, not for the Commodore. Amiga $24.99. 1988. We complain about prices of games now. Okay, they're 60, 70 quid now. But they were like 40 quid for decades. Superstore. So you can now buy hardware from them, including the cassette player for the Commodore 64. You got special offers. All these games here at a reduced price. Subscribers offers. Back issues. Number 4, number 5, number 6 are still available. No, number 4, number 5, number 8 are available. Then 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, yeah, all the way up to number 40. And this is issue 41. Be one of Gary Lineker's hotshots. It's so amazing how This is at the time of recording or live streaming. Konami coin-up action Salamander. Now is the time. You are the hero. Commodore and Amstrad is $8.95. Spectrum is $7.95. Never figured out why it was always cheaper on the Spectrum, apart from the fact there wasn't as much colour. Yeah, they've replaced Thing on a Spring with these odd little things that pop up every now and then. He goes, where's Super Thief? So wanted, 64 users from all over the world, latest stuff on discs. Send lists of discs to Alpha 1, blah blah blah, London. The complete collections, issues 1, 2 and 3 of ZZap magazine wanted. Reasonable offers considered, in good condition. Marvel superhero comics wanted, good prices paid. And then for sale, Commodore 64, 8 months old, various other bits and pieces with it, in Matlock after 4:30 PM, 130 quid. Turbo Save will load your basic progs with speed, complete with flashy border, only £275. Don't send Dosh with name and address. Oh, send Dosh with name and address to John O'Keefe, Wilmslow Road, Garnborough, Buckinghamshire, and onwards and upwards. And then you've got Thalmus Hawkeye. The Games Machine, issue 10, which was a magazine I never really bought, I'll be honest. Worldwide Software, Bridge Street, Galley Shields, and also Stony Street, Nottingham. And then you've got ZZap winners. So people who've actually won bits and pieces that you can buy. It was amazing. ZZap Readers Charts. Games Top 20, number 1 Bubble Bobble. Yeah, good game. Buggy Boys number 2, Impossible Mission 2, 3. Number 4 is California Games, was number 1. I did have California Games, Hacky Set was my favourite. Siuk, Project Stealth Fighter, Ikari Warriors, Target Renegade, Bionic Commando, yep, brilliant. Last Ninja Re-Entry, Platoon, Cybernoid, Strike Fleet 10. I wonder if it's based in the film 10. A bit raunchy. Defender of the Crown, Hunter's Moon, Grisors, 4th and Inches, Packland, and number 20, Skate or Die. There's also Coin Up Top 10 as well. Vulcan Venture, Blasteroids, Afterburner, yeah. Bubble Bobble, yeah. R-Type, definitely. Double Dragon, yeah. Pac-Mania, not as good as Pac-Man, but it was alright. Road Blasters and Soldier of Light and Gallagher 88. And then Video Top 10. Video Top 10. Blade Runner, yeah, classic. I've watched it a few times, but I have no memory of anything about it. Aliens, watched that very recently, it was on telly. Roxanne Re-Entry, that's the big nose thing, isn't it? Like that, you know, big nose. Radio Days, never heard of it. Wisheria, no. Hellraiser, I watched it once, it was a bit gory. I don't like horror movies. Platoon, never watched it. And Out on Elm Street 3, no, I watched 1 and 2. Beverly Hills Cops 2 was okay, and The Fly was okay as well. Match Day 2, should be Match of the Day 2, with, well, Match of the Day crossed out, Day of the 2, and then put in the guy who does Match of the Day 2 for Match of the Day. Anyway, you won't understand that if you're watching this like 3 years down the line. Coming to a monitor near you, R-Type, and I must admit that looks really, really good. Really, really good. And then a football game. I'm pretty sure that these are not related to that. Because that'd be weird. Get to the end of R-Type, you finish it, and then you have a game of football with Emily Hughes. Red Storm Rising. And that looks like some kind of... It says there you can't keep a good gas down or up. Oh, it's Gary Lineker's game. Super Skills. So yeah. And then look at this. Harwood's, Gordon Harwood computers, advertising the Amiga 2000 with a free 1 meg internal drive with dry phone for latest prices. Oh no, Amiga 500, 1 meg disk drive, stereo sound, 4096 colours, multitasking, built-in speech synthesis. Never used that. Mouse, 2 manuals, operation systems discs. Pack 1 with games, all the above plus Whizball, that was good. Star Glider, Gold Runner, Karate Kid 2. I did have Karate Kid 2, but I didn't really rate it. Deluxe Paint, that was fun for a while. TV Modulator for $399. If you have the dual pack deal, you get all the above with a colour monitor as well for $599. And if you go for the business system, because obviously it's a computer, it's more than just a games console, you get a Commodore 1081 4-colour monitor, a Commodore MPS 1200 printer, the Works Integrated Business Package with combined word processing, spreadsheet and database, and you get a Transformer PC emulation program for $799. And they were in Atherton in Derbyshire. And then Evesham Micros, they've gone really small, haven't they? Oceanic OC118, previously sold as the Exterior Plus. So yeah, they've changed the price of it. Atari Summer Pack offer, £349. Tribridge Software Distribution, Romford in Essex. The amazing Zap Click Flash Competition. With a really good camera and 10 System 3 goodie packs. A really good camera would require film. 23 ways to achieve sporting immortality. Gold, silver and bronze. 23 events. It's all the winter and what looks like the summer games together. Together like that. ZZap 64 coming attractions. And the final page, Imaginetics advance announcement through Imagine. Rastan, Target Renegade and Arkanoid. Arkanoid, oh this is the follow-up, Revenge of Doe. But I always thought Arkanoid was underrated. Very simple game, but really, really, really addictive and really annoying as well. Then at the back we've got Psych Pigs UXB, the greatest pig-related game this decade. When did Hogs of War? Oh, that would come out much later, didn't it? That come out in the 90s. So I'll give him that. I'll give him that because Hogs of War was on the PlayStation 1, and that's got to be the greatest pig-related game of the 1990s, and probably the greatest pig game since it came out. A prime recipe for excellently addictive play. The conversation of the game is fantastic, said Joe Sinclair. Crash. And the greatest pig related game of this decade was Field and Farming Monthly, so you can't argue with that. I must admit though, the game doesn't look, that looks a lot more exciting than that. Anyway, who am I to think? Yeah, Winter Games, that was it, with the gold, silver, bronze thing that we were looking at before. So there you go then. ZZap 64, number 41, September 1988. Quick flick through. Thank you, Jay Morris, for your interaction throughout. And I will no doubt see you all again soon. Thank you for watching.